Boom! Welcome to the Sebs Show. It's your boy Sebs with co-host Gib, and today we're breaking down both the UFC Ultimate Fighter 26 finale and what else are we breaking down? UFC 218 Holloway vs. Aldo 2 in Detroit, Michigan.
Big breakdown.
Yeah, so we got some big breakdowns ahead of us. A hell of tape study for both these events, man. A lot of tape, 100%. But let's get down already to breaking down Ultimate Fighter Tough 26 finale or whatever the fuck it's called. Before I break this down, I'm not one to break news or anything, but fucking, I think it's cool that I just saw on Twitter right before I got on here that Jeremy Stephens is fighting Dooho Choi Gib.
Okay.
How nasty is that fight? Korean Superboy versus Little Heathen.
I've been itching to see another Korean Superboy fight for a while now.
Yeah. Oh, he's been nasty. Last time we saw him live in Toronto, that was, yeah, he's dangerous. But going on with these picks, Tough 26, not the most dangerous card. Not a lot of names on there as far as recognition goes. To be honest, probably the most hyped fight or fighter is Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
I would think so. Like the people that know the most about this card would know the most about Sean O'Malley, I believe. But other than that, we got the inaugural flyweight title, which we'll talk about more later. A little bit of controversy there. And there's a shitload of 125 fights, female 125 flyweight fights, and then we're gonna get to the big breakdown on UFC 218. So I'm gonna be rather quick, or we'll be rather quick on the Tough 26 finale, and then we'll jump to 218. So let's get this started, Gib. All right. First up is Emily Whitmire versus Julianne Robertson. Honestly, going off of just what I know from the show, Julian's pretty good grappler and whatnot. Emily's also a good grappler, trains with Misha Tate from Extreme Couture. Has some decent stand-up and whatnot, but this is honestly a toss-up fight. A lot of these girl fights are. I'll go with Julianne Robertson, though, to get the job done. I think she'll get the job done with some takedowns, and she'll eventually get the win there. How about you, Gabe?
Well, another Canadian in this one, Julianne Robertson after her last card. I think it'll be good. Both very similar record. I think Julianne Roberts actually had a very extensive amateur MMA background. So she actually has quite a bit of practice in that. But again, with kind of the fighters being so similar, I think we could get a bit of a toss-up here. I say the Canadian goes for it and takes it. I guess we'll have to see. They both have, Robertson has a few submissions over her, so see if she can cinch one up here tonight.
Yeah, for sure, man. Next up, we got... I'm sorry, the line on that was minus 180. Emily Whitmire plus 150. Julianne Robertson. So next up is Shanna Dobson minus 205. Ariel Beck plus 165. Honestly, not too many leans I have on this card, and this is just one I had to lean on was Ariel Beck. So to see that she's a huge dog like this. We're not a huge dog, but plus 171 you can get her at right now, plus 180 even. I don't know, man. I think she has the experience over Shanna Dobson. Shanna Dobson looks a little bit dangerous on the feet, but I think Ariel's going to be able to take her down and also work her ground and pound as well. I think she has the better wrestling, and I understand Shanna has some dangerous boxing. Like she doesn't have too much in her arsenal. She's only 2-1, but she's got some decent boxing, and I think Ariel's gonna want to stay away from that, and she's gonna wrestle and take away some rounds with wrestling.
Yeah, I think Ariel Beck has had her fair share of both wins and losses. And I think she also fought for the opponent, Rachel Stovich, who's also fighting on that card, previously losing to her. So obviously really looking for a win. Both of them are. It's another toss-up. I mean, Shanna could perform on the feet and maybe do something. But at the same time, Ariel Beck seems to have a bit more experience. Age is still pretty close, so it is a bit of a toss-up. I say Ariel Beck takes it, though.
Yeah. Next up, we got the minus 325 favorite, Rachel Stovich versus Karine Javorgan, plus 250. And this is a fight I wanted to bet on. I might still bet on if the line comes out right on Pinnacle. If I get a decent line, a minus 300 or less, because I think this is a minus 500 fight. Honestly, I know Rachel Stovich is just like a lot of guys know her just because she's gorgeous and whatnot. And she's a 500 fighter. She's 3-3. But I think she just has the advantage here. She has the advantage maybe striking. We saw Karine on the show not do too well striking. And Karine has zero ground game. So if Rachel wants to wrestle with her, that's all in her territory. If she wants to wrestle, she goes ahead and wrestles, and that's an easy night for her to get the W. So I think Rachel goes ahead and gets the W here, 30-27 decision for the minus 325 favorite, Rachel Stovich. How would you give?
Well, I think both girls do have some submissions in their game. I don't even think Karine has a win by anything else. Stovich has a win by anything else other than a sub and decision.
Yeah,
really but she has a knockout loss as well, quite previously. So I don't know. We might have a toss up on this one. Karine could land some big punch, but I do think it might actually come down to a submission. The stand-up will kind of decide. But I don't know, man. I think I might take Karine just to be different on this.
Yeah, a lot of these fights are just hard to pick, man.
Yeah, seeing Rachel Stovich coming off of the TKO loss, so
yeah, 100%.
Scoring up some damage.
All right. So next up, finally, a guy fight. We get Eric Spicely plus 165 and minus 190 Gerald Meashort. Man, GM3, when he's on, he's fucking on. GM3's on, but Eric Spicely, both these guys are gonna have what I think is gonna be a really good jiu-jitsu game. They're just gonna grapple a lot. I think Meashort has the stand-up advantage if they want to go to that. But I think they're gonna get their hands on the grappling here to see who's the better grappler of the two. I think Meashort might be able to take this, but this is why it was a pass for me. I initially thought Meashort was going to take it, and then Eric Spicely, like I watched his, obviously that was kind of like a Hail Mary performance against Thiago Santos.
Mm-hmm.
And then he put on another one versus Di Chirico, I'm pretty sure, Alessio Di Chirico. Man, this guy just finds a way to win, so you can never really count him out. But I'm thinking Meashort here. I'm not betting him, but I'm passing and I'm taking Meashort here. How about you?
Well, Eric Spicely, both really good submission guys, I have to say. They know what they're doing. They definitely play lots of little chokes and triangle setups. It's really great to watch, and I really hope this stays on the ground so we get to kind of see a display of that. But I do see Eric Spicely a little weak on the stand-up. He seems to take a lot of big chances, and when he misses, tends to get tagged a bit. I think he's a bit off in terms of maybe the striking balance, but he does tend to get those takedowns and kind of start to set up his submissions, but Gerald is known to really cinch up the submission quick. The armbar victory over over Ryan James, that was, I have to admit, pretty good. So I got to take Mearshart in this one.
Yeah, I think he gets it done too.
Actually, Ryan James also fighting that night as well. So
Yeah, big underdog Ryan James is, but we'll talk about that a little later. Christina Marks, plus 275. Montana De La Rosa, formerly known as Montana Stewart, minus 365.
both debuting.
Yeah, well, all these girls are fucking debuting. I'm going with Montana Stewart here just because of the rest. I like the wrestling advantage here. She's faced a better competition and like Cynthia Calvillo, fucking who else has she? Not Aspen Lad, Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern is always a tough out. She's a good wrestler. And she's young, man. She's like 22, 23 years old. I think she gets the job done here. I think Christina Marks doesn't have much game at all, stand up or on the ground. So I think Montana Stewart gets the job done here.
I think Christina Marks kind of coming from that that stand up background. I don't know. She has had some success in the past with that. Maybe some questionable opponents here and there. This is a bit weird. I'm actually going for possible submission for Montana. Actually, I think she might pull one out. I didn't do much tape on these two. It was a bit weird in the season as well. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, 100%. I thought like early on Montana was going to be one of the favorites to win it all, but Nico Montano, one of the girls at the flyweight championship match, took her out. So we'll talk about that one a little later. How Nico pulled that out, I think it's pretty not inspiring. Well, kind of inspiring, but good fighter, man. Good underdog. Maybe well, she's not even an underdog. That's the worst fucking buzz. She should be an underdog here. She should be an underdog with the experience. But next up we got Sean O'Malley, who we interviewed for Syrian Wear. So we're fucking. I'm a little biased here. I can't lie. I'm a little biased, but fucking Syrian Wear, man. All he has is an educated jab. He has a nice jab, and he has a good left hook. But it's not like he's super fast. He doesn't have good wrestling. He doesn't have the best takedown defense. And people are saying he's a more technical striker. He hasn't been finished with strikes and with in certain for whatever 20 plus fights, whatever the fuck it is. Man, I think Sean O'Malley lights him the fuck up. If he doesn't get a stoppage in the first round, like I'll be surprised, but like he's gonna win this fight. I think. He's got lots of power behind his hands, this kid, and he's got some scary movement inside and out. I was thinking about putting another unit on, or another unit on him, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna stick with what I have right now.
Yeah,
I do like him though, 100%. I have him in a parlay with somebody late in the card for 2.5 units. I do like him a lot though. Against Steering Where I think he lands another highlight reel knockout. Man, this kid's fucking flashy as fucking. He lands some devastating knockouts.
He's not afraid to pull the trigger on either of those.
On anything. On anything. He's not scared to, like, he throws spinning back heel kicks, fucking flying knees, nasty overhand rights when he's exiting the clinch, and like
to have the stamina after that as well is just remarkable, especially for someone that young.
Yeah, no, a guy that smokes a ton of fucking kush the way he does, like when we talked to him, he sounded super confident, man. He was saying he's getting a first round knockout, 100%. He's saying he's gonna get not fight of the night, he's getting performance of the night. They should already sign the checks. He sounds, yeah, he sounds really confident, man, and I don't hate him for it. Um, but yeah, I took the shot on him early. Um, Having with somebody, like I said, later in the card, but oh, I just noticed we get three straight fucking guy fights with Sean O'Malley, Bret Jon, Andrew Sanchez. That's some good stuff. Thank goodness. Oh,
Sanchez.
that's yeah, that saves us.
Good
But
order.
yeah, but I think they have that wrong. I think they have Bret Jon is on the main card, and I think Sean O'Malley's the co-main event. So I'm pretty sure
Yes.
that's wrong. Yeah. So but yeah, that's what we're breaking down next. So I do like Sean O'Malley. I have him in a parlay. One of my only plays of the night, 2.5 units. With somebody later in the card. And what do you think, Gib? What do you think
I
of this
think
fight?
Sean O'Malley is a big job ahead of him. Seeing Tyrion Ware in the sport for a while, there's no wonder he doesn't really get hit on the striking. But I agree with what you're saying. Just because you don't get hit hard and flush that day doesn't mean you can't get hit ever. The night might just be coming. So he could be due for it. He fought Luke Sanders, and Luke Sanders only really has one loss. So he's used to fighting a lot of top level opponents, and brings a lot of experience. So he's definitely looking to.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to be more than Sean O'Malley can handle. But I think if Sean brings him into some deep water and makes the man fight when he doesn't want to, he could really bother him. And the awkwardness, the weird angles, the kicks, and the toughness could go all with Sean O'Malley and go past another one and beat an even bigger bounty on the list, right?
Yeah,
So,
I think so as well.
and coming off of his last fight, I mean, we know that he can tussle, and we know that he thrives on the pressure. He takes punches like it's
Yeah,
nothing and smiles back at you.
he
I don't think
ro-
a lot of people could take that.
he rolls with punches really well. He's really dynamic in the striking, 100%.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
moving on from Sean O'Malley, we got the pikey Bret Johns taking on Joe Soto at -165. Joe Soto's +145. My man Pikey 165. You can get him for 160 at Sportsbook right now. He's pretty cheap. I got him at 217, I think. So I took the Pikey on this.
you got the Poike, yeah?
Yeah, I got the Pikey here, guys. You know what? I threw 5 units on the Pikey. I think this is an easy win for him. I think Joe Soto doesn't have the best takedown defense, and the Pikey has devastating takedowns. He's a big bantamweight. He's got crisp hands when he's standing up, and Joe Soto does not. Joe Soto standing up is at his best, but like maybe decent. But the Pikey has some quick boxing, and he's good
Yeah.
inside the pocket. Nasty trips with his judo background. He's been just, like a black belt in judo for a while. He's been studying judo since he was like 6 years old.
Hmm.
Um,
I gotta ask though, him fighting TJ Dillashaw previously, do you
yeah,
think that maybe that type of striker will be able to flush out someone who maybe isn't a top level striker and maybe isn't landing his stuff? Do you think that having that experience in a loss from someone so high up could allow you to maybe zone in on something early and go in on a tell?
well, at the beginning, I thought it was gonna help him, and then like my man lost against Michinori Tanaka.
Yeah. Oh,
Right after that. So
I have to admit that guy really chugs for the fights, and he's a tough fighter. I gotta admit.
yeah, so I don't know. I think Joe Soto was just like in the right place, the right time, got the opportunity, but he wasn't good enough, obviously, to beat fucking what's his name? TJ Dillashaw wasn't even good enough to beat Mitch Tanaka. So to beat the Pikey, you got to be on top of your fucking game. And Pikey came in good weight today, 135 and a half. Um, you can get him from like I said, minus 165 right now. It's a steal. I got him for 217. And Joe Soto's plus 145. If you think there's value on him, I really think he's getting blasted in this fight. Double legs all day. But yeah, I got Bret Jon's all day. How about you, man? Got 5 units on Bret Jon's, by the way, minus 217.
I got to go with the man with the best name on the best fight name, Joe One Bad Mofo.
Oh my
Got
god!
it. I think he puts on a nice little heel hook here, and maybe
What
even
the fuck?
yeah, man. I think he maybe steals this one away. He was on a 3-loss losing streak, and he's come back a lot. He's on a 3-fight winning streak now. I think that's pretty good. Obviously,
Against who?
obviously,
He beat
Sanchez.
Ronnie Yaya was beating him up on the feet.
Hey, man, you got to beat some people to get to where you're at, man. I mean,
But Ronnie Yaya was fucking him up on the feet. What's Bret Jon's gonna do to him? Bret Jon's gonna fuck him up.
I think the Pikey's good. The guy strings out tons of wins and definitely
Undefeated.
yeah, undefeated. But I don't know. I think Joe Soto's hungry, and maybe he gets that submission that he's been looking and waiting for to end the night off.
Yeah, this ain't Marcos Beltran, so fucking 5 units Bret Jon's minus 217 to win 2.3 units. Would have maxed them at fucking minus 270. I thought he was worth minus 400. I thought he was gonna get steamed to 500, but I guess he didn't. So I got the Pacquiao day. This guy's got fucking Joe Soto in this one. But I can't hate on you if you got Joe Soto. The value's there, but Gibbs not even betting, and he has Joe Soto, guys. Just that he has confidence in Joe Soto, I
Oh
guess.
yeah.
So we'll go up with the next fight. Andrew Sanchez versus Ryan James. Andrew Sanchez is now a minus 550 favorite, man. And then Ryan James is a plus 425 favorite, or 425 underdog. I wouldn't take it. I think at minus 550. I'd have to think a lot about that. I'm thinking right now if I should take the 1 unit play on it still with Sean O'Malley because I really like Sean O'Malley, but I think I gotta calm my ass down here. I'm playing a little bit too much, but I like Andrew Sanchez a lot here.
What did you
I
think
th-
about the Anthony Smith fight?
I think he was ruling that fight until he got knocked out. And
Yes.
that was a controversial knockout. I think he was ruling that fight. This guy's no slouch. He's Division One not All American, but Division One national wrestler. Very, very, very good wrestler, and was wrestling guys like I know Khalil Roundtree isn't the best grappler, but he's huge, man. And to be
Oh,
wrestling,
Roundtree's huge.
to be wrestling Roundtree at 205 pounds, and not only Roundtree, just all these other guys at 205 pounds inside the tough house, and he's fought multiple times before that at 205. Um, I just think the only thing that bothers me about him is his gas tank in the third round. I think it's not
Yes.
the greatest. I think it could be improved, and Ryan James actually has some very good conditioning, so that might hurt Andrew Sanchez there. But I think Ryan James stands straight the fuck up. Throws his punches at a weird, awkward angle, but he stands straight up, and when he's getting hit, he doesn't move his head off the center line at all. And I think Andrew Sanchez is going to blast him with double legs and beat the fuck out of him. And I think he's going to, if he doesn't get the finish, he's going to get a 30-26 decision here. So I got 2.5 units on Andrew Sanchez and Sean O'Malley at minus 148 to win 1.68 units. And I'm confident about that one. And those are my only two picks of the night. My only two bets of the night: Bret Jon and Andrew Sanchez and Sean O'Malley. But let's keep this going. Or actually, I said let's keep this going, and you didn't even
Yeah.
get to go
Oh,
yet.
yeah. Sorry. I was waiting. Yeah, Andrew Sanchez, he's come back from that one loss I was talking about against a very seasoned opponent. I think he takes out Ryan James. During that fight, he was pulling off a lot of spinning kicks that were landing flush. He controlled a lot of the fight, even on the ground. Um, Anthony Smith had to take lots of rest breaks just to work up that confidence to even throw such combinations that would get him into deep waters and result in that big knockout. Ryan James seems a little bit staggery when it comes to his stand-up. He uses a lot of kind of half boxing, I think, kind of just to benefit his submission game. He's quite the submission guy. So, if they both go for stuff, it could result in like a back take or a really weird scramble where it could be anybody. But I think Sanchez won't have very much trouble with him standing. And I think that'll be a big ease before the grappling starts, So I got Andrew Sanchez in this one, either by decision or like maybe a second round knockout or something like that.
Yeah, I like Andrew a lot here as well. Next up, we got Deanna Bennett minus 425 versus Melinda Fabian, and I do like Deanna a lot in this fight. I think she's gonna take it to the floor. I think this girl Melinda has no stand up whatsoever, and from what I saw on the show, not no stand up. She's got no ground game. So she's gonna get taken to the floor, and Deanna's gonna drop those vicious elbows that she dropped in this show. I'm just going off what I saw in the show, and she's gonna drop those vicious elbows. I know she's coming off like 3 losses or something before
Yeah,
she
it's a
got
bit of
into
an
the show.
unlucky streak there.
Yeah,
So,
she's coming off like 3 losses or something.
what do you think about that?
And who did she lose to? Like Rachel Stovich too, didn't
Yes.
she? I think so. Yeah. So but I don't know. This is this might be her win, her first win in the UFC. Her first win, making a debut in the UFC, and her first win in 4 fights. Man, I think she gets it done here against Melinda Fabian. I passed though, minus 425. That's way too high for me for a chick fight like this, man. I'm not taking that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Deanna Bennett's got it. She's a very rough customer. She really big, I have to say. Well, in terms of just for the 125 division, I guess, somewhat.
Yeah.
Submission game by Fabiana might be a bit difficult to deal with, but she's quite bigger than her. So I don't know. It's a toss up. I say Deanna Bennett gets it. She's sick of losing. I think she pounds her. Maybe even gets a good ground and pound going, or even a stand up.
Yeah, I think so too. I think she gets the job done for sure. And so next we got well, it's not the co-main event, but it's certainly on the main card. I'm just going on the order of best fight odds, guys. And we got Barb Ponchak minus 195, one of the best flyweights of all time, taking on Lauren Murphy. I don't even want to talk about this stuff anymore, man. I want to get to 218, but fuck it. Barb Ponchak, one of the best flyweights of all time. Not much to say other than I think she's gonna blast Lauren Murphy. I think I was actually waiting on a good line to fade. What's she at right now? Minus 190. That's not bad. Minus 190 isn't bad. I might fade Lauren Murphy if the line gets nicer on Pinnacle. I'm expecting. Give me minus 170 and I'll fade. I'll fade Lauren Murphy all day here. I think Barb Ponchak's a better fighter, 100%. And I think Lauren Murphy's going to have a tough time with her. We saw her in her UFC career. She didn't do the greatest. But I think she's going to have a tough time here. She's stepping in short notice. It was supposed to be Roxanne Modafferi here. We'll talk about that in a second. But, yeah, I got Barb Ponchak all day. How about you, Gib?
Well, both champs in Invicta. You know,
Bob Honchak, the first champion in
yes, the first. But you know, for being 4 years apart, Murphy being younger, no, we could get a bit of a toss up on this. Both pretty seasoned. It'd be crazy submission if someone gets something or someone catches, or even becoming a bit of an escape artist and just getting the other person to use up enough gas so that they can kind of either get the decision later on in the fight with the 2 rounds, or even come back for a submission or something like that when they're tired. So I'm actually going for Lauren Murphy on this. Why not?
Oh, here we go with the picks, guys. Lauren Murphy, Joe Soto. Can't wait till we get to 218 and you tell them who you got, and I'm not even going to spoil it for them. I'm going to spoil it for the viewers. I want them to judge you.
Got it.
All right, look, my man. Okay, so I got Bob Hunt, I got Lauren Murphy. Next up, we got the fight of the night, guys. The fight of the night. Nico Montano versus Roxanne Modafferi for the inaugural Women's Flyweight Championship. Like, this is just 5 rounds, and oh my goodness, if it lasts all 5 fucking rounds too, like, that's just what the fuck, man.
But what if it's a war? I mean, what if it's just a gun show?
If this card even has 3 good fights, because Bret Jon's, I think, is going to be a good fight. And Sean O'Malley. But if it has one more good fight with other than that, I'll be fucking amazed. I'll be like, oh shit, okay, this card turned the fuck up. Because I don't think any of these girl fights are going to be like fucking fire at all. I don't see any of them being fire. If that girl Priscilla Kashara or whatever her name was, if she was still on the card, that would be fucking fire. She's trains with Jessica Andrade. I think she's fighting in Fresno next week. I'm not sure. She might be. But yeah, so Nico Montano minus 185, Roxanne plus 155. I'm going to have to go with the veteran experience in Roxanne, man. I know Nico's that underdog. And, you know, like, she can get the takedowns and everything, but I think Roxanne, I think it's her time. I think she got lucky here for a reason. I think everything happens for a reason, and I think she gets the job done, and I think she wins this via decision, though, man. I hope it doesn't go to decision, but I think she wins this via decision. Fuck. Yeah. And she's the new and first ever UFC flyweight women's champ. How about you?
Well, obviously she wanted to be here. She wouldn't be fighting this long if she didn't. A lot of resilience shown in both seasons that she competed in on the show. You know, she definitely went through her trials. You know, this is like the way CM Punk, I personally believe, should have came up. Just, you know, go through a bit of an amateur type circuit and, you know, work your way. She got a string of losses at one point, going 5 straight and kind of coming out of that, and now she's in the UFC. So it's big. Nico Montano, obviously the younger fighter, and obviously a little bit more to prove. A little green, but I mean, I guess we're going to see what happens. I'm definitely going with the experience on Roxanne Modafferi here. I think she takes it, and a well-deserved win.
Yeah, 100%, man. I see where you're going with the experience and everything. And I think she gets the job done here. Like, she has so many more fights. She has 14, 21, 35 fights, and this girl has 6 fights maybe. Like, fuck, like, that's a huge gap to jump. So I personally might even take the shot on Roxanne. I think she gets the job done, honestly. But next up, We got UFC 218. Finally, we jump to this card. Go ahead and switch over, Gib, whatever you're doing. Switch your sure dog to 218. But we got first up. I know you're interested to talk about this fight.
Oh yeah.
Amanda Bobby Cooper minus 525. I can't. Yep, minus 525. Everybody versus Angela Magana plus 415. I don't want to talk about this fight, but we're gonna have to.
All right.
I'm making it quick. First of all, you start.
So recently I looked at a Twitter post that Magana posted. I mean, if you watch those stupid Mighty Ducks movies, or just those movies, all those nerdy kids getting bullied, she literally pulls one of those moves and says, "Oh, I'm really sorry for what happened with Cyborg, and I'm definitely willing to say I'm wrong when I'm wrong," and then just kind of turns it around and says not, pulls
fucking
yeah, like I just don't think you have a lot of the kind of space to talk right now, only because you haven't won this fight yet, and there's a high level striker who just assaulted you, who's reigning champ, and failed to do anything about that.
She said she's the hottest girl. She says she's the hottest girl on the 218 card. She's not even close. Not even close. No, I go.
I don't think
Bobby
that's
Cooper. Second, fuck, I had this list earlier, but first definitely Bobby Cooper. Second, Michelle Waterson.
Oh yeah, Karate Hottie definitely takes that.
Yeah. Third, I don't know, maybe Tisha Torres. Torres, like there's way better girls than her. Or no, third Felice Herrig. Fourth, Tisha Torres. Like way better girls than her, like fuck. But we're not here to talk about looks or whatever. But just because she said she was the best looking girl.
Well,
in terms of fighting, I think she loses here. I think Bobby Cooper gets what is her. I think this would be her first. I think her first win in the UFC. So I think she gets the job done here. I think she finishes, or not finishes, but I think she decisions Angela Magana here. How about you, bro?
I'd say the Majesty gets dethroned on this day.
Yeah.
I see ABC Cooper going off on her.
Yeah, 100%, man. Let's not spend too much time on that. Actually, finally, guy fights. Let's go. All right. Alan Crowder plus 185. Justin Willis minus 225. I know you have an opinion on this, so I'm going to let you kick this one off again.
It's kind of funny how it's literally the pretty boy versus the big pretty.
Yeah.
Just off of the names alone.
Yeah.
I mean, someone is going to get cracked in this fight.
Someone's not going to look pretty.
No. This could go either way. I mean, if you're looking for a bit of a toss-up and you want to, you're at the bar, you want to place a bet for the drink, I mean, this is a pretty good fight to do it. You got a 50-50 chance here. Justin Willis and Alan Crowder are pretty much just going to swing for the hills. And the second somebody gets hit with something, there's going to be some tumbles. People are going to go flying. I would expect the ref to take a bit of a trip in this one with these big boys running around throwing punches at each other.
Yeah. So I saw Alan Crowder on the Contender Series. Not impressive at all. Was so surprised he got a UFC contract. I was like, fuck, they really need UFC heavyweights. If they're bringing Alan Crowder in right now, they really need some UFC heavyweights. And then I saw a big pretty fight on against James Mulheron. And whatever, he looked all right. But man, this is just like you said, it's such a toss-up fight. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Justin Willis here. I think he's the better fighter out of the two. I just think he's the better fighter. I think if that guy gets on top of you, good luck getting him the fuck off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So who did you have for that one?
again, this is a coin flip.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to pick, I would probably say maybe Willis.
All right, so Willis, we both got Willis. Okay, next up is Dominic Reyes, who shares with Amanda Cooper the biggest favorite on the card, man. He's minus 525 to on Jeremy Kimball at plus 415. And I think Dominic fucking shows his skills off again. I think he showed his skills off against Joaquin Christensen with that straight left. Or was it a straight, or whatever it was. It was definitely like a nasty straight. And it just crunched Joaquin Christensen. This guy is dangerous in all areas, has some dangerous head kicks. 4-time Stony Brook champion, used to play football. This guy is no joke. He's light on his feet. He's a good striker all around, gets trained by Joe Stevenson. And I think he gets the job done here with beautiful fashion. I think he head kicks Jeremy Kimball and finishes him. We've seen Jeremy Kimball get finished by Marcos Rogerio de Lima, and I think the same happens again. I think he gets finished here by Dominic Reyes. I got Reyes in a parlay, 3.5 units with somebody later in the card. But yeah, I got Reyes all day, man. How about you?
Yeah. Dominic Reyes, some devastating knockouts. Jeremy Kimball as well. I mean, he's a big boy, but I think he can cut a lot more weight than that. I just think that he could be fighting a little bit lighter. I mean, Derek's a little bit bigger as well, but I mean, his 205 is, I have to admit, pretty like slimming. He's gonna be quick in there, and he's the taller guy as well. Anything spinning is gonna just devastate you. Obviously, it takes a lot of energy, but I think Jeremy Kimball's not ready for a lot of the strikes that this guy throws.
Yeah.
He's even got a bit of a submission game as well. So, you know, he's full of tools. So I guess we'll really see. But Jeremy Kimball is coming off a win, and you know, he could bring that type of energy into his next fight. And with Reyes, kind of new to the UFC, you never know. Or sorry, only one fight into the UFC. You know, we could get a bit of a surprise here. But I'm definitely going for the Devastator on this one.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think Devastator gets it done. Next up, we got Abdul Razak Alhassan taking on Sabah Homasi. Razak Alhassan minus 250, Sabah Homasi plus 210. Not much to say other than I think Abdul Razak Alhassan runs through Sabah Homasi here. Sabah Homasi did not look good in his UFC debut against Tim Means. Actually looked horrible. Was getting outstruck completely, just elbows, knees, straights. He was just getting outstruck really bad. He did not look UFC caliber ready. I know he's got some knockouts on his record, but he's also got some knockout losses on his record as well, and that trend's super questionable. And if you're facing a monster like Abdul Razak Alhassan, good luck, man. I was thinking about putting another unit on this guy, but I'm not sure. So I got Abdul Razak Alhassan minus 3.5 with Dominic Reyes, and I think that's gonna hit, man. I just really like that parlay a lot. I got it at minus 127 to win 2.76 units. I think he crunches Sabah Homasi here. I think he drops him with a straight right or an overhand right, and he crunches him. I think he breaks his jaw or some shit. Yeah, he's something fucking vicious for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely betting on that. I say Razak just runs through him. I mean, I can't pick all the long shots. You know, it's tiring. I get stressful. You know, I mean, I take these big risks, but every time the fight's on, I gotta watch it. It's just such a nail biter. You know.
Yeah.
But I say Razak does it with probably a devastating move, some big uppercut or a big knee. maybe even taps on a submission after getting him to the floor. Homasi, like you said, proven to have problems with guys who are not only veterans but young guys in the sport, guys close to his fight experience. So he's definitely having a bit of a hard time adjusting in the UFC, and that's just not a point in which you want to go through, especially when this is your next fight. So at 170, it's going to be a rough fight. So
Yeah, I agree.
I got Razak.
I agree 100%. So you got Razak in that one. Okay, so next up we got, and I'm thinking of placing some more money on Razak as we speak. Minus 226. That's a good fucking price. But next up we got Courtney Casey taking on Felice Herrig. Felice Herrig's minus 135 plus 115 for Courtney Casey. Gib, I'll let you take this one.
Big fan of Felice Herrig. I really like that submission choke she wrapped up on Kelly Curran. Obviously, she's struggled with fighters like Paige Van Zandt and Tisha Torres, who's on the card. But I think she's been showing a lot of promise. Yeah, she's getting rough wins, I guess, grinding decisions out. But I think she's here to stay, and she obviously wants to put in that work. And Courtney's just in the way. Courtney obviously still high level. She's no stranger to a decision either. Even going to a decision with Claudia Gadelha. So she has the resume as well backing her. It's still a close fight, don't get me wrong. I think with Felice's record, though, it might put her in a little bit better spot in terms of experience and maybe get her on that fast track for possibly a run at the belt or maybe like a contendership.
Yeah, possibly, man. She's been looking good as of recently, and I could see it definitely moving on to this, or to this fight at least. Felice Herrig, no joke, as in her jiu-jitsu, as you were saying, she got some slick back takes. She slicks transitions. I think she can bully her way to domination on the mat. I think she's a better striker on the feet. I like other stuff on this card, so I didn't take the shot at her. I think minus 135 is a good price for her. I think if you haven't taken too many shots on the card, you should definitely think about taking Felice Herrig. And I like Felice Herrig a lot in this matchup. I think she gets it done. All right. So next up, Drakkar Klose plus 160. David Teymur minus 185. Teymur is just a fucking decorated striker, man.
I like this fight, man.
Yeah, this is a good scrap. This is a scrap that might be, if Justin Gaethje wasn't fighting, I'd be like, this is fight of the night. But yeah, but this is a real good scrap. Teymur versus Klose. Klose is comes from the MMA lab, good wrestler. State champion in high school or something, or like some shit like that. Fucking, or college wrestling, I don't know. Something like that. I know he's a decent wrestler.
Oh yeah, huge wrestler. Really good at getting out of
submissions and whatnot. Yeah,
and really staying calm under such big pressure fights.
Yeah, and I think his fight against Mark Diakese, he showed he can compete with some of the best strikers, because Diakese is, in my opinion, one of the best strikers in the lightweight division and possibly the whole UFC. And Drakkar Klose showed like he's a better fighter at that moment. And then David Teymur took on Lando Venata, and he showed how talented of a striker he is. He showed that he's not going to like you thought. Lando had the grappling advantage, and that wasn't necessarily the case when you got to think of it, or not when you thought of it when you watched the fight. Teymur looked excellent in any grappling exchanges that came his way inside the clinch, and looked like a very good striker, man. Decorated kickboxer. Dangerous. He's got some scary Muay Thai, scary body kick, which I think is going to be open for him in this fight. This is a tough fight to call, man, but I do have Drakkar Klose actually slightly pulling this out very
Nice.
without the pun, very close. How about you?
I think that is a pretty good decision on a fight because Jakar Klose really can grind decisions out of guys who normally take dudes out. If you're a type of fighter who has some devastating punch or kick that just no one can get past at the time, and you're racking up all these wins, fight Jakar Klose and tell me how the decision goes, because I guarantee you that guy's going to wrestle you down, null whatever you have, get out of heel hooks, be able to make the fight nasty against the cage, and really just grind you out for a decision if he doesn't get a big knockout. He doesn't really put a lot of pepper on the punches, but he always is ready to either return fire or take another punch. David Teymur really impressed me with the Lando Venata fight, though. With a fighter coming from Cub Swanson's camp, you can really tell that guy throws bombs and just goes crazy with kicks. He's a very random fighter. He's not easy to catch a beat on at all.
And Teymur did
So
that.
yeah. So I actually see David Teymur maybe landing some sort of strike that could turn it around on Jakar Klose. Maybe if Jakar brings up his pace and tries to match it, David Teymur might even pepper him up with a few more shots. I think Jakar Klose has fought a high-level striker before, like you said, in
Mark DKC.
Casey, but I think David Teymur could be another version of Casey that he might have to get past. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get that decision or even a submission win.
Yeah, that's a fight I'm gonna keep my eye on for sure. During the prelims, one of the fights of the night, sleepers, 100%. That's a sleeper fight.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Alex Hellboy Oliveira taking on my boy Yancy Medeiros, and just talking to Yancy, man, he was in a good mood. He sounded like he was really ready for this matchup mentally. He was saying that he's not scared of the power or the strength of Cowboy because he wrestles with sharks or whatever. Like he was saying like all kinds of shit, man. He was talking about how it's like such an advantage training with Max Holloway and whatnot. I challenge all you guys to just go listen to that interview on the YouTube channel with Yancy Medeiros. I'm gonna post it after. Once again, just because it's almost fight time, so I'm gonna post that interview one more time on Twitter. Just take a look at it quick. But yeah, in this fight, like Cowboy definitely has a strength advantage and can bully him and take him away in the grappling exchanges. But man, I think this keeps standing, and I think Yancy lands some effective strikes. I see where Cowboy could have the advantages in the striking as well, but like I think Yancey's the cleaner and more technical striker. I just do. I think his body kicks are deadly. To a guy who always used to cut a lot of weight, maybe his organs aren't the best. So I'll give him a couple body kicks. Who knows? But yeah, I like Yancey slightly in this matchup here.
Yeah.
Took him on DraftKings and whatnot.
Okay. Yancy, great interview. I think he found his weight at 170 because he's doing a pretty good job there, and he's obviously a lot more comfortable and enjoys it. Saying on the news as well. I think Alex Oliveira's jiu-jitsu will probably be able to null his, so it will be, like you said, a bit of a standing match, and in that, Yancy Medeiros takes a lot of big risks, and in the stand-up game, it tends to be the decider and really allow you to set up other things. So I think Yancy could pull something off. This is a very close fight, though.
Yeah.
It's definitely going down to the wire, if not even a decision. But I'd actually like to see Yancy, if possible, cinch up like a really nice choke or something like that. Very hard to do, especially on Alex Oliveira. But I think he might have something special planned. You never know.
You never know. So we're both a little bit biased, you can tell, but I honestly do think Yancy gets the job done here, man. So moving on, we got Charles Oliveira taking on Paul Felder. Paul Felder is now the dog at -105. You can get him for +100 on Bookmaker, +100 on Sportsbook. That's insane, man. Wow.
What do you think about that one?
I didn't think he should be the dog. -1 on short notice. This is on like 3 weeks short notice or something too. -115 Charles Oliveira, -105 Paul Felder. I think Paul Felder has way cleaner striking. He knows when to hide his spinning attacks, his spinning back fits, spinning elbows, his knees, his heel kicks, everything. He hides them very well in his diverse like striking. Like when he's striking, he's super diverse and he just hides it really well, and he blankets the strikes very well. And I think going against a guy like Charles Oliveira, who tends to get a little bit wild, has not the best gas tank. He's going to struggle against a guy like Paul Felder if he doesn't get the takedown and if this isn't on the mat. I think if this stays standing, he's going to have a lot of trouble. I think Paul Felder pieces him up over how long it stands. I think he finishes him at the second round. But I got Paul Felder all day here. I took the shot on him at 3 units. Paul Felder -129 to win 2.32 units, and I'm really juiced on that one, man. I think he's gonna get the job done. How about you?
Paul Felder has the weaponry. Definitely comes at you with the rolling dice kicks, the big payoff punches, and I think that's the type of style that can really end fights, turn tides in seconds. Obviously, Charles Oliveira getting that win over Will Brooks, really good submission game from him. But if you concentrate a lot on that, your stand-up is going to be a little bit lacking. Leg kicks might tend to be your downfall if you're super heavy and wide out, right? I think Oliveira has obviously, had some big fights against guys like Anthony Pettis and Max Holloway, so he knows what it's like at those top and higher up levels. And obviously, he wants to take out another top fighter so that there's no excuse if this guy can get back in line for a contendership. So he's definitely hungry, and he really wants this one. But I mean, Paul Felder isn't giving anything away. This is a close one, a really close one. I actually slightly go for Paul Felder on this. It's close.
Yeah, I really like Felder in this matchup. I think it is close, but I think it's a little bit wider than you think on the feet for sure. I think his Muay Thai is nothing compared to Paul Felder's, and ever since Paul Felder moved to Rufus Sport, he's looked incredible. It's like fucking his last 2 fights were finishes against man. Now I'm gonna have to go look up his last 2 fights. He fought Alessandro Ricci and Stevie Ray, both finishes.
Yes,
both in the first round. It looked incredible since he moved to Rufus Sport, and I have him all day here, man. I think he gets the job done. But moving on, this is a fight I know we're gonna have a little bit of controversy on. Tisha Torres -255, +215. Michelle Waterson +215. All right, Gib, I'll let you take this one first, man, since you have a lot of thoughts on it.
Well, this is another call it crazy, but I want to see a fatality kick by Michelle Waterson. I think it's about time for her to get back into this. She came in with a lot of promise, and I think she was more than ready in other organizations when she was getting ready to be in the UFC. I think she could have been there a lot earlier, kicking a lot of ass. But it's good to have her in there now. She comes with a pretty wide set game plan. She's got a bit of karate. She's got some very impressive striking. Um, she has a balanced kind of ground game. Tisha Torres comes in with those spinning kicks as well. So this might even be a bit of a flashy display if
Yeah, this
they
is
both want to
karate
go
versus
for it.
karate.
Yes, yeah. Um, Obviously Michelle Waterson going for a bit of the high life, displaying some of her moves on the Steve Harvey show or an interview,
Yeah.
and being out there. I wonder if that has to play a bit of a effect on the mindset if you're really in that fight ready, in your head, or if you're, kind of looking up at the lights a little too much. But I think Michelle Waterson's been here enough. She knows what she's doing. She's taking advantage of her time in the light. So I think she does that as again, on Friday, and takes out these Torres head kick knockout. We'll call it in the.
This is ridiculous.
I
You
don't
don't
know.
have to call it. Yeah, you don't have to call it because
Oh,
it's
I don't
not
know.
happening. It's not happening. Tisha Torres is gonna
Last minute of the
ragdoll this
first round.
girl.
Remember that one.
Last minute of the first
Last
round.
minute of the
Okay.
first round. I'll call it at minute 4.
Tisha Torres is gonna ragdoll her on the feet, on the ground, wherever it goes. She's so much stronger than her. She's physically bigger. Like
Everybody's gonna send a
her
picture.
frame.
First round.
Yeah, first round. They're gonna send you a good one. And fucking, I think Torres just the way better striker and grappler. I think she's a better mixed martial artist all above. Mixes up her shots really well, goes to the body, to the head, and she has that killer instinct to finish fights. When it's on the floor, she goes for nasty submissions, for chokeholds. On the feet, she's always trying to finish you. She goes for slams and whatnot, but she's dangerous wherever the fight goes. I like her a lot. And she's training now at in Colorado. I forgot what her team's called, with Raquel Pennington, her partner, and man, I just there's not much to be said. I thought this line was going to be at -300 when it opened, and it was going to get steamed to -400. I thought it was going to be a huge line, and I expected Michelle Waterson to be a big dog. There was a time at one point where it was like -160, -104 for Michelle Waterson and Tisha Torres. I wish I hopped on it right at that time, but it didn't. I didn't hop on it. In that time, I got her at 5 units. Tisha Torres -124 to win 4.03 units. One of my most confident picks of the night. I think she gets the job done rather easily here. I think she finishes Michelle Waterson in the second round with it via chokehold. But yeah, you got nothing else to say, my man?
No,
Yeah.
I'm just hoping for that swift kick, buddy.
That's that swift kick, exact. All right, so next up we got one of the best fight. I think this is going to be fight of the night. This is just got fight of the night written all over us. This is for the Violence Championship. We got Eddie Alvarez +160 taking on my man Justin the Highlight Gaethje -185. If you know me, I'm a huge Gaethje fan. Even before he came into the UFC, when he was at World Series of Fighting, I was a huge Gaethje fan. The guy is a fucking zombie with an incredible chin, and people say, "Oh, his chin's gonna come to an end soon." It very well might, but it hasn't since. So I'm gonna keep on relying on it. And looks like a lot of the time people are like, "Oh, he's taking big shots. He's taking big shots." No, he rolls with a lot of his punches. Like a lot of his fucking punches, he rolls with. He doesn't take the damage you guys are taking. Maybe on his arms, but he's not taking that damage. He's rolling with a lot of shots. Uses that shoulder roll brilliant too. And but he rolls with it like all the time. Yeah, if you watch him, he's a technical boxer. He uses something else very well. Is he uses his probe very well from Muay Thai. Yeah, I think he uses the probe. He's a Division One All American wrestler from Northern Colorado. Um, like he doesn't choose to use his wrestling all that much, but the kid's no joke, man. He's got 15 of 18 wins by knockout or TKO. Trains with Trevor Whitman. He's got incredible top control. Works the lead leg nasty with leg kicks inside and out. He has got a TKO with leg kicks. Likes to get in the pocket and slug it out. He's good. He's got good grappling defense. Very diverse and an orthodox striker. He's got a good chin. Like I said, he's good at scrambles. He puts himself in danger to land shots. And man, he's just a lot of forward pressure, very tough and durable, strong in the clinch, very powerful slams and takedowns. He's got a powerful uppercut, like such an insanely powerful uppercut, and constantly closing distance and moving forward aggressively, nasty striking, and finishes a lot of his combos with leg kicks, something that I like. Eddie Alvarez, I think he's on his way out. I think his chin isn't holding up the way it used to be ever since the Conor fight. I think Conor changes people, honestly.
The
And
Dustin Poirier fight as well. I mean, that was a war.
yeah, and I think he should have got DQ'd in that fight with throwing illegal knees, and he was looking for a way out. But I think Justin Gaethje gives him a way out here and knocks him out in the first round rather quickly. I got 5 units on Gaethje. This is one of my most, if not my most confident player than the day. I got 5 units on Gaethje at minus 187. I bet on him a little too early, but I don't give a fuck to win 2.67 units. Big fan of Gaethje, and I think he gets the job done, man. I'm very confident that he's gonna be able to pressure Eddie with those leg kicks coming forward and just drop fucking bombs. He's gonna tear up Eddie's lead leg, just destroy it. He's gonna destroy Eddie's lead leg. Mark my words on that. But yeah, what do you think?
Well, I got Justin. I mean, it's hard to really deny that this guy should have been in the UFC a lot longer. Um, Obviously, stayed very loyal to WSOF with holding their belt and really going withstanding the test of time, showing a lot of loyalty and even standing up and kind of saying, listen, you don't have to be in the UFC to do this. You can do it wherever and gain that notoriety enough that all of a sudden, they're calling you, they're asking you to come over. And with a guy like that and an amazing Michael Johnson fight, I thought that was an absolute war. You just see these fights with guys who are super high level, and really anyone can win these. And obviously, the questionable jaw comes into play, but I mean that's all fighting. It's all part of it. I think Eddie Alvarez jaw is also into question. If you're going to talk about Justin's as well, like
Yeah,
you said, taking shots from Connor,
Justin.
Cerrone.
Just his old
Uh,
fights with Tatsu
yeah.
Kawajiri and shit, man. Like
Mhm.
his old fights in Bellator with Michael Chandler, like those
Yeah.
wars. Like
Yeah.
he's been in wars, man.
Now he did get that Michael Chandler fight back
Yeah, but
later on,
still,
but I
he
mean,
was
hey,
in wars, man.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm actually taking Justin Gaethje all day. Um, I think Eddie's had a few tough fights. The one with Dustin Poirier. I actually hope we get a rematch. I'd love to see that one again.
I think that's what we see next. If Eddie loses, I think he fights Dustin Poirier. I think that's a good match to run it back.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. But next up, so I got Gaethje 5 units at minus 187, I believe, to win 2.67 units, like I said. Okay. Next up, we got Henry Cejudo, minus 300, Sergio Pettis plus 250, and simply, I think Cejudo is going to ragdoll Sergio Pettis. I think Sergio Pettis is way too small for him. Doesn't throw enough combos, in my opinion, to keep Cejudo off of him. He's gonna try and keep his distance with kicks, but his kicks are gonna get caught like they did against Brandon Moreno, and he's gonna get taken down and just destroyed and mauled and ridden for the whole round like he did against Brandon Moreno, which was a 10-8. I think he might be the quicker striker, the younger striker, but Henry Cejudo has some power in his hands, man. He's got some bricks in his hands, and if you watch his last fight against Reyes, he drastically improved since his last. Like, he looked unreal. He was doing like this sideways karate stance, and he was just dropping fools, man. He looked very dangerous, and even against Joseph Benavidez, a lot of people can say he arguably won that fight, especially with the point taken away in the first round. It's arguable he won that fight. I think he might have won that fight, and it was a split decision, but tough split decision there. Could have got the nod against DJ again, but I think this sets him up to fight DJ. And I got Henry Cejudo here all day. I got 4 units on him. Minus 193 to win 2.07 units.
I think Sergio Pettis has been at the top of a lot of good decisions lately that have really went his way. He seems to face a bit of adversity in guys like Ryan Benoit, and obviously Bruce Leroy. So there are some faults there. I think Henry Cejudo coming in to fight Demetrius Johnson and fighting a lot of high level competition as well only proves why he should stay in that division as well. I think that he's a better all-around fighter. I think he goes for a lot of those surprising moves that land, as well as Sergio Pettis going for a lot of surprising stuff. But at the same time, he has wrestling to fall back on, and he has a lot of grappling and groundwork that he can pull off, and tends to be a lot to handle to a lot of fighters. And he's also no stuff to a decision, so he knows that he can make it there as well. I don't think that this fight is very good for Sergio Pettis, because if he misses one of those big fancy kicks, I mean, he's getting dragged to the depths. And I mean, if Henry Cejudo doesn't knock him out with a punch first, actually, before the takedown, but I mean, he's going to get thrown around unless Sergio Pettis can really be accurate. And we've seen him kind of struggle with continuing to be accurate on when he wants to pull the trigger. I mean, you could tell he doesn't want to go to decision with these fights.
Yeah.
You could tell he wants to win with some spectacular move. But by the end of it, he gets really tired of doing them, and he just can't get the accuracy down. I mean, he has tons of energy, but it's that accuracy, that kill shot that you need. If you can't push the button on guys, you're going to lose bad decisions, or even even fall off the reins when it's like the last round, or a couple minutes to go and you're winning, right?
I believe so too, man. And
either decision, submission, knockout. I can see him winning more.
I think he makes a statement in this fight.
Yes.
Whether it's decision, submission, finish by knockout, I think he makes a statement. But moving on to another guy, I think is going to make a statement. Minus 235, Francis Ngannou versus Alistair Overeem plus 195. I love fucking Ngannou, man. I'm in this Ngannou hype train 100%.
Great heavyweight fights.
Yeah, and the way he fights is just, he throws so much fucking power, man. He's a killer. He drops bombs on people. I know it's guys like Boyan and like Arlovsky and stuff, but like, if those bombs were dropped on anybody, they'd be going to sleep. It doesn't matter who they are. And now he's training with the likes of Dewey Cooper, who's Kevin Lee's striking coach. So he's even getting more dangerous in striking. Dewey Cooper's no joke from Extreme Couture. He's no joke. That guy's a legit striking coach. So teach that big guy how to strike even better. And he, with the likes of his coach Fernando Lopez, I think he gets the job done here against Alistair Overeem, who likes to play that patient game, and he's been stopped 11 times in his MMA career. I think he gets stopped again. I think that chin's failing him, and I think Ngannou touches up that chin real nice, and that counterpoint you saw the Reem bullshit that he does when he runs away from you and he tries to throw punches after he runs away. That's not going to work this time. I got Ngannou all day, and I got 3 units on him at minus 187 to win 1.6 units. So how about you, Gib?
Uh, Alistair's definitely not Overeem anymore. He's not that, that super crazy striker that we got to see fighting Tyrone Sponge, in K1 and in Pride and in all types of different organizations. So, Ngannou coming up really, really fast in the MMA world, and at heavyweight no less. This guy, even with the lack of experience, he tends to get wins over guys that a lot of people don't count out when they see Ngannou's fight record. This guy's astounding to watch and to even listen to. Very humble champion, very respectful in the words he uses. Very fortunate to be in the position that he is in, and takes every day like it's his last. So I got to commend that, and I think he's the type of fighter who I enjoy. I enjoy following and enjoy looking to see more from. I think he's a huge heart. He really pushed through fighters, big punches, and guys are kind of left clueless when he is taking shots and coming forward, because he does not stop, and he's always trying for something. He's never he's never flattened out easily or really destroyed. He does lose tend to be on a lack of experience. Which again obviously could fall into Overeem's lap. I mean, the guy beat Dos Santos when a lot of people counted him out. I didn't even think he would win that fight. And he just pulled a punch out of nowhere and hooked him. Obviously, Overeem's trying to get at that belt again, but I think Ngannou wants a little bit more, and he's going to foil his plan. So I got Ngannou, and I think it might go 3 rounds. And maybe Ngannou gets the late knockout or something.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he gets the late, not the late knockout, but I think he gets it past the second round at least. I think the first round's gonna be a little patient. I think the second or third he'll start to open up, and
I think early a little scary,
Yeah,
and to throw a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, but fucking Ngannou's scary too, man. Even if you feel a punch of Ngannou on your arm, it's gonna hurt so much. You're like, if that shit touches my fucking face, I'm going to sleep, man. That's so scary. It scares you. Look at Ngannou. Look at Arlovsky when he blocks one of Ngannou punches. He shits his fucking pants. He's like, I want out of here immediately. And then he gives up that uppercut. He was so happy to give up that uppercut. He was like, fuck yeah, like I'm out of here. Oh, Ngannou hits hard, man. He recently won the world record for hardest punch in the with that machine too. Like Tyrone Spawn and all those guys have hit it. Tyrone Sponge and fucking he has the hardest head out of all of them. So that's pretty interesting as well. But next up, we got the main event, man. We got Jose Aldo trying to regain his belt against in my opinion, one of the best in the world right now, if not the best in the world right now, Max Blessed Holloway, the featherweight champion. Let me see the odds for this real quick. Minus 290 Max, plus 245 for Jose. And I got Max all day here. I think he's going to learn from the first fight of when Jose was touching him up in the first round. Jose was actually hurting him in the first round. And then if you saw at the end of the second round, even during the second round, he probably won the second round, Jose. It was during the end of the second round that Max started to turn on the heat and started to like go at his pace. And then it was the third round where he clipped him and he finished him. And I think the same thing happens here. I think he clips him and he finishes him. I think he does it a little bit earlier. I think his jaw is gone. Jose Aldo, I think we heard that he wasn't kicking before because of he had injuries going into the his UFC title match against Max Holloway, but even before that, he wasn't throwing too many kicks either. He's been primarily a boxer for a while now, and I don't know what point he's trying to prove. Even if he does throw kicks, I think the way Max switches stances is going to give him a lot of trouble as well, and he's going to hurt Jose Aldo. It's not like the guy, like the people betting Max the first time, like myself, we weren't aware of his kicks. The first time going into the fight, it's not like we were like, oh, he's not throwing any kicks. I think it was something we were all aware of, and we're still rather confident in Max. Um, so I'm very confident in Max. This is my most confident play of the whole night. I think I got 5 units on Max all the way. Uh, I maxed Max at minus 217 to win 2.3 units. I think this is an awesome bet, man. I think the younger guys always favored in the rematch. As Joe Solecki said, it's like going to be very hard to defeat. The younger fighter when you're going in a rematch. It's just difficult that all the intangibles are on their side, and I think all the intangibles are on the side and the skills on the side as well. So I got Max all day here, man. How about you?
Well, I want to ask, do you think 6 months is a good time to go for a rematch? 'Cause that's about how long it's been since all those last fight with them. And
It's a good time for a rematch, but you have to take on that this was a short notice fight. This is
yes,
taken on 3 weeks. Notice Jose Aldo took this. This was supposed to be against Frankie Edgar, and it was actually against Jose Aldo when he took it on 3 weeks notice. A lot of people thought Cub Swanson should get the fight, but Jose Aldo started to get this fight, and man, like Max says, it is what it is. It's just another day in the office. So I think it was like to answer your question, it is good that they waited that amount of time. Maybe whatever we'll see the best Jose Aldo, but I think we're gonna see the best Max Holloway too.
oh yeah.
I
Um,
think, yeah. But go on.
oh, just wanted to say, I've seen Aldo apparently work on his boxing recently with Mikey Garcia, and he tends to turn some heads at a really big gym with a lot of people working in there in California. So I think that Aldo is possibly shaping up for a boxing fight if he decides to go to that avenue. Um, I'm not sure if maybe he wants to get this belt back,
He's talking about he's
build,
talking about
or like he
retiring.
was saying on the embedded, build that dynasty back up, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, uh, on Saturday night, he starts out round 6 against Max Holloway, which is going to be awesome because their fight was
no, he starts round 4.
on. Sorry, yeah, that fight was unmissable.
Yeah,
I mean, it's huge scrap. I think Max is a high level striker, and he ate a couple punches by Josie as well. Both tough guys. I think this is so split, but I take Max because of the ridiculous win streak. I mean, I don't know how this guy didn't get a contendership when he was on a 6-7 fight win streak. Uh,
yeah.
I
I
think he got it
agree.
really late, and I'm glad that I got to see him take that belt in Toronto. I think that was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was
He
awesome.
did it in great fashion to a high level striker as well. So I think he does just barely bring this one back out, whether it's a decision or he even makes quick work of Aldo. I don't see any submissions happening. I think they're smart enough to keep that uh, far away and just kind of let the striking finish it out. But it's going to be a great fight. This is this is an awesome card, man.
Yeah, from top to bottom, this is a really good card, and had fun breaking this one down, man. For sure, great card. They're gonna be purchasing it for sure on the weekend. Looking forward to it. So everyone, hope we cash these bets. If you're against me, go fuck yourself. I'm kidding. I love you, but no, seriously, go fuck yourself. If you're against me, let's stick together. Tail my bets as always. I bet MMA.tips at slash the Seb Show or slash Seb Show. Follow me and Gibbs at the Seb Show and Dave underscore Gibbs with his Z. And yeah, talk fights with us on Twitter and whatnot, man. Leave us a comment below on who you like and the fights and whatnot. And let's get this money, boys. Let's get it.
All right.
Boys and girls, peace out. Have a good one.
On Twitter. Have a good one, guys.